appreciate it. And what I would like to start my speech with is something that I'm going to try new this time, and I'm going to solicit help from all of you, both questions and participation in this meeting, to help get a better idea of how much I can involve the audience. And in this speech, little things, big result, I want to first read from this box. 3D full flight, rise, descend, turn left, go forward. You see all the pictures as to what this is. High energy lithium battery, design special blade, double choked to death protection function, make operator safer. It made me laugh, I know that. And this other one, this product is a kind of aircraft simulation when it flies. Yeah. So I guess they're not guaranteeing anything at all. The little things, the big results, I'm going to break apart in this speech as a number of different items I would like to concentrate on. And in this case, the little things, big results, we're going to be talking about battery technology, different small incremental technology increases which allow this to happen, and we will also talk about the LED, the light emitting diode. Now today, what we're going to look at is what came out of this box to begin with, and that would be this little model right here. This little model, I would like someone to hold it. Any volunteers that could help me out? Thank you very much. Now, this model has some very interesting battery technology. That was one of the three things I pointed out we were going to talk about. The LiPo, the lithium polymer battery. When I first started flying RCs 20 years ago, the batteries were NiCads, and then different types came about. The biggest difference with the battery that she is holding right now is the fact it does not have a metal around it at all. It is a lithium polymer. And while more expensive, they will start coming down in price. You may have a lithium battery in your mobile phone. Does anybody have a mobile phone they would like to crack open and tell us what kind of battery is in it? We're gonna talk about it being, it's probably a lithium battery. What does it say on there?
Lithium-ion battery.
That is very similar to what's in the little helicopter. This particular battery, lithium-ion, does have a metal case around it, but it is not as lightweight as the one she is holding right now in the helicopter. Why? It is that polymer substrate that divides the anode and cathode of the battery. So that's technology that is very recent. Only in the mid-90s has the lithium polymer battery come about. And already we have this device, which, anybody want to guess how much was paid for this?
$35.
It's lower.
$17.
Closer to $24.99 on eBay. Very inexpensive. Little things, big result. These little incremental things are very interesting. The battery technology. The little things that I can compare this helicopter to the more expensive $1,000 models that I was exposed to when I was younger. I never did fly one because they were so complicated. The little gasoline engine, the fly bar, the cyclic, all those things were very complicated. And the tail rotor wasn't vertical like this, wasn't horizontal like this, they were vertical. In other words, you had to have gyros inside because it was very hard to keep it straight if you did not have a gyro. This one, it's balanced with the two rotors at the top. They turn in opposite directions, and the rotor in the back simply moves it forward to get it to turn. And you tell it to move and then go forward again. So those little changes are what make this model possible. Also, small motor technology. There's a little motor here, and there's two inside. Can you see these dudes? There's one right here, and there's one over here, and there's one in the back. These three motors, independently controlled, negate the use of a servo. Those were little mechanical actuators that I used in models years ago. They are still very popular, but only on more complicated models. And when we move on to LED, light emitting diode technology. They were invented about 50 years ago. What's amazing, does anybody, can you see on the bottom here, it says off and on, see the little switch? Can you flip that little switch?
Turn on.
That's not the switch, that's the receiver. It's a little tiny, there you go, very small. There we go. Thank you. You can see these LEDs very plainly. You can see them even though they are using very little power in this device, so much so it can be an affectation. Simple design. It doesn't really take away from the overall power that is required to fly this model. And the amazing thing, when I researched LEDs, they were originally developed about 50 years ago, but the progress of these rivals, has anybody heard of Moore's Law? Moore's Law, for basic doubling of technology very quickly, the same thing has been applied to these LEDs. Does anybody have any objections to seeing this helicopter in action? No objections.
Does it hurt if it crashes?
It will hurt the device and it will not hurt anybody else.
Do what?
It will hurt the device and will not hurt anybody else. James, could you move the helicopter to the middle and thank you, appreciate it. Just, and we have to make sure it's pointing because this is infrared, not. There you go. Wonderful. Turn it around. Oh, all right, we don't need that. And that's it. I just wanted to point out how much interesting things we've gotten, the big results with incremental progress, and I would have opened up to questions, but I've spoken too long. Please come to me after the meeting with any questions that you might have, and thank you.